What's up guys, back at it again with another video, and I just want to go right out and say it. Thank you so much for this past, little over a week? Are you kidding me? We've reached the 100 subscriber marks that take some channels months to reach in just a little over a week. As a matter of fact, at the time of recording this, we're over 150. So 50 more people decided to join us in just a day, which is incredible. So thank you all so much for your support and comments. I just can't say it enough. Anyways, let's get into what we've been waiting for, which is gonna be the revenge episode. And this is gonna be a little different for this special episode. We got a 3-tiered system. First, we're gonna start off with level 1, which is the usual. We got some Prorevenge. Then we're gonna ramp it up to level 2, which is gonna be NuclearRevenge. And then to finally finish it all off, we got level 3, which is going to be a new subreddit we haven't even read yet, which is r/SuperNovaRevenge. So let's not waste any more time and get right into it. See you soon. Park in our disabled spot. Enjoy selling your home. Sorry for making this a long one, but context is pretty important. So my little sister, who's the sweetest girl in the world, is about 12 years old, but can't walk or communicate. Her mental age is about 6 months. She obviously can't attend regular school, but since we live in a big city, there's a wonderful school for kids like her. Even though we don't own a car, since we don't need one, we got the city to put up signs in front of our house, designated a 4-meter spot for wheelchair pickup and drop-off for her school bus every morning and afternoon. The signs went up about 2 years ago, and about after the first week, we never really had issues since most of our neighbors are wonderful and totally understanding of our designated spot. For some context, we're living in a perhaps poorer community, though we were well off, but in our 9 years here, we had nothing but great interactions with everyone here. Sadly, the neighborhood is gentrifying, and we're getting more self-centered people with their Mercedes-Benz or Audis honking while my sister gets loaded onto her school bus, which takes around 4 minutes but blocks our little street, which really pisses us off, as well as other sane people that witness it. Naively, we thought this would be the extent of our unpleasant interactions. In September, we woke up like any other Monday morning to find a shiny BMW parked in our disabled spot. It wasn't just partially in it, it was positioned perfectly to take up the entire spot. To make things worse, there were about a dozen open spots on the block, and it's not like they were all vacant that morning since we wake up at 6 a.m. We were baffled. I'd seen this car many times since last July, and it definitely was the same car since there aren't many burgundy sports cars in our neighborhood. It was usually parked about 20 meters south on our street, so we knew it belonged to a neighbor a few doors down. We did all the basics in this type of situation. We took a picture, we took down the license plate, and we called the police to report it. The cops came within about an hour and wrote a big fat ticket. I believe it was for $700. Don't quote me on it. Anyways, it was a significant amount. At around noon, a smug angry guy came knocking on my door. I had the day off from school and was home on my own. It was obvious that it was the owner of the car, so I made a quick decision to record the conversation, or screaming match, on my phone. I opened the door, and before I could say a thing, the douche lays into me. I'm a 16-year-old guy, and he's in his mid-40s, maybe midlife crisis. He accused me of all the things ranging from putting up those signs this morning to framing me to being racist. He was an East Indian, I believe, but we have a really diverse community. He goes on to say that disabled spot shouldn't even be a thing, that it's always empty, totally shooting himself in the foot on all previous comments, that we should pay for his undeserved ticket, that it wasn't even an inconvenience since the spot next to it was free and my sister could just get on the bus from there, blah blah blah. Once he finished, I said, okay, and shut the door furiously in his face. He rang the doorbell another 5 times before storming off. To my satisfaction, the recording caught everything fairly clearly. In the evening, I told my parents what happened and gave my dad a copy of the recording. We have a pretty tight-knit community for the most part, and there's a neighborhood Facebook group with around 3,000 members. My dad decided to post a summary of what happened, along with the recording and a picture of the car and our spot on the page. There was an immediate uproar, with people saying they would fight back or whatever. We were humbled by the feeling that our community was standing up for us, but we didn't think anything would come of it. The next day, I leave the house to go to school and walk by the guy's car, back in his normal spot. I noticed that the front right tire was deflated. Upon closer inspection, it was slashed. As I said, our community is tight-knit, but I can't say I expected anything like this to happen. The guy must have seen the Facebook post, because he didn't come back to our house to complain or accuse us of anything. The following weeks were sweet. Whenever I saw him in public, people would go up to him and remind him that he was a crappy human being. A bit harsh in my opinion, but they weren't my words. In November, his house had a for sale sign in the window. The house market had also gone down bit by bit. I'm always kind of curious about how much similar houses to ours are selling for compared to how much we paid for ours in 2010. So I knew what he paid for it in July. Once I saw a for sale sign, I rushed home and checked the local house listings. And lo and behold, he was selling his for $90,000 less than what it was going for in July. He really wanted to get out of our neighborhood. While his crime wasn't nearly worth $90,000, I must say that I don't feel bad. Worst case scenario, he sells that obnoxious car of his, which would easily cover the lost money. Let's just say we haven't had a single car parked in our sister spot since. I don't understand this guy. Was he just trying to stick it to a 12-year-old disabled girl? Because he even states that there are plenty of spots he could have parked in, but no, he wishes to park in the spot that the disabled girl needs. Yeah, sounds like a good human being to me. It's time for level 2. Let's bring it on up to NuclearRevenge. I sent an entitled mother to the ER because she grabbed my girlfriend. I got a $25 gift card from my mom to the local cinema, so my girlfriend and I decided to see How to Train Your Dragon: The Lost World. For context, my girlfriend's a petite beauty from Venezuela, so people sometimes mistake her for a child, but it's usually very obvious that she's an adult by the sound of her voice and the way she acts. It usually results in awkward and sometimes funny moments, but this is not one of those moments. Anyways, we get to the theater without any problems, and we're patiently waiting in line to purchase our movie tickets. We started talking about How to Train Your Dragons and what dragon we would like to have. She loves Astrid's dragon Stormfly because her favorite color is blue, and she likes the ability to shoot spikes. The way she marvels at everything we have here is so adorable, but I understand that's because she, in her own words, grew up with nothing. We go to the front of the line, and I start purchasing our tickets. I feel a really thick finger tap me on my shoulder. Enter the entitled parent. EM. Hey, can you help us out? This lady's tone instantly sets off some red flags. People who are condescending and or overly nice generally want something out of you. Me. With what? EM. Well, I really want to see that dragon movie with my little boy, and we just don't have enough money. Her kid is completely silent, and he looks like 6 or 7 at the most. Unfortunately, me and my girlfriend are also broke college kids, so we don't have too much money to spare. Me. We don't have that much money to spare. Sorry, maybe someone else can spare some change. I thought maybe that would get her to leave us alone, but nope. EM. You have money. You're using a gift card. You can just buy tickets for you and the little girl with cash. Me to the employee while mentally facepalming. Can you just take my card real quick, please? She takes my gift card and swipes it. EM. Stop! He stole my gift card! I look at EM like she's on drugs or something. The employee looks at the gift card, which has my name on it, and my name is not gender neutral one like Karen. Employee. Ma'am, I'm sorry, this might just be an understanding. This gift card does appear to have his name on it. EM. I want to speak to your manager. I can't believe you would defend a thief. He just wrote his name on it. Employee. Okay, please wait 1 second, ma'am. She was right in front of us for the entire exchange between us three. Girlfriend tugs on my sleeve. Babe, what are they saying? English is her second language, so she has trouble understanding people sometimes. EM has a look of pure disgust on her face. Me to girlfriend. Ella es loco. I was being intentionally incorrect with my Spanish. EM.
What? I should have known that you're an effing pedophile.
She screams loudly, and people were starting to stare at us. Me. What? I was just shocked that she would say something to my face. I guess she thought my girlfriend was a child. I glance over at my girlfriend, who's starting to look scared and confused. All she knows is the physical embodiment of insanity is standing before us. EM.
I won't get your ass arrested for raping that little...
Oh, no, I'm not saying that.
Illegal if you just hand over your effing gift card.
Me. No. Get out of our face. The kid hasn't uttered a peep throughout this entire exchange yet, but he still looks scared. EM.
How dare you make my baby cry?
He wasn't.
I'm making sure you get arrested and taking your gift card.
She reaches for my gift card on the counter, but the lumbering land whale was too slow. I grab it. She's screaming at me to hand over my gift card, but I refuse to play and keep it away. After what felt like a minute of her screaming at me and calling us both all sorts of racial slurs, she changes tactics and grabs my girlfriend. EM.
I'm taking you away from this rapist.
My girlfriend's eyes are wide. She struggles and lets out a blood-curdling scream. Hearing that scream was all I needed to see red. I elbowed EM with all my might. She hit the ground hard, and she was out cold, blood trickling from her mouth. The only thing that stopped me from going further was her kid's presence. Everyone in the vicinity was silent as EM laid stiffly on the ground. Surprisingly, nobody tried to attack me afterwards. The employee was visibly shocked by what just happened. My girlfriend was sitting on the ground, crying, but thankfully unharmed. I tried to comfort her, and the EM's kid started crying too. Security came a few moments later, followed shortly by the manager. They're greeted by a scene of me kneeling on the ground next to my crying girlfriend, a little crying kid a few feet next from his unconscious mother, all surrounded by shocked onlookers. They immediately call an ambulance for EM. It's clear that she's badly injured. The employees and I explain what happened. The other staff were thankfully nice and understanding and offered us free tickets, but we just took the vouchers to another showing instead. My girlfriend just wanted to go home. I felt bad for the kid after what he'd just witnessed. I gave him a candy bar I was saving for the movie, which seemed to help him relax a bit, but I could tell he was still scared of me. I apologized for hurting his mother and told him it's wrong to hit people, but sometimes you have to protect the ones you like. I sincerely hope he doesn't grow up to be like his mother. I'm not sure what happened to the kid. I gave the police my statement later that night, which earned me the nickname as Elbow Man at the local department. My girlfriend does not want to press charges, and she's firm on this. I later heard that I knocked out 4 of EM's teeth, dislocated the left side of her jaw, and gave her a concussion. She likely got the concussion from the impact with the ground. The best part is, I'm guaranteed to win the case against her if she tries to sue me, and I know she'll have to eat liquid foods for quite some time, assuming that the info I heard is correct. TLDR, racist woman gets mad that I won't give her money for movie tickets, then tries to use false accusations to steal my gift card. Then when she grabs my girlfriend, I knock the EM out and dislocate her jaw. This is the ending I want every single entitled parent story to have from now on through forever, because that is so satisfying to get to hear the a-hole entitled parent get knocked the hell out for once. So glad with that ending, especially with this lady who's a racist, making accusations against this guy. Nah, you got some problems, lady. Over a $25 gift card? Really? Alright guys, now we're moving on up to level 3, SuperNovaRevenge, and that's a super edgy name, but that's okay. It's a great story. Quick disclaimer, please be aware in this story there will be pedophilia. If that's something you don't feel comfortable with, feel free to click off this video. There won't be a bonus for today, and I will see you in the next video. But for everyone else who wants to stick around and listen to the story, let's get on into it. You want to try and end my life? Let's make sure you wish yours was. I wanted to post this here for a while, but I only just got the true best ending. I apologize if this is a bit long. Backstory. I'm super allergic to aerosols and perfumes commonly used in cans of cologne, to the point that I go into anaphylaxis if it touches me directly or if I breathe it indirectly, and I've had several close calls. I'm also mildly autistic and used to be rather nerdy and antisocial, making me the perfect target for all the assholes out there. Now, for the backstory. I was in math class right after I learned I was allergic to cologne. This being junior high, this was actually a pretty major problem, as I couldn't even change in the locker room most days. Of course, I had several people in my class that were absolute jerks to me, and that particular day, the miscreants were messing around with a bottle of Axe body spray. Miscreants, I like that word. One of them was running around, in the middle of class no less, spraying people with it. I wasn't too bothered at first. I just put my jacket over my head to keep anything out that got too close. Then the guy, we'll call him Dick, for comedic reasons, sprayed the girl right across from me. I had to quickly ask to leave the classroom, which my math teacher begrudgingly agreed to after my nose started to bleed and I was visibly getting hives on my face and arm. I quickly left to jeers of, "What, the smell too manly for you, gay boy?" and "Go back to your anime. No one wants to see your face explode." In front of my math teacher, mind you. What a crappy teacher. And spent most of the rest of the hour puking out the lunch I had recently eaten. I had decided to wait until school was over before calling my mother to take me home to save out on paperwork. Soon enough, the bells ring and I leave the bathroom before I head to the front office to call my mother. As I'm walking down the hall, however, I hear some conspicuous giggling behind me, which I recognize as Dick's. Then, I hear the worst sound, the hiss of a spray can, right in my face. I drop instantly, my airways closing like an eyelid, gasping for breath. I didn't even have enough time to call for help before I passed out on the floor, but not before I hear a soft, "Oh shit," from one of Dick's friends. I found out later, of course, that the cameras in the hallway were down for maintenance. The same bullcrap as always. Anyone with half a brain knew by this point the cameras were just for show. They had never caught Dick for doing that, despite my insisting it was him. I had almost died and was in the hospital for 2 weeks by the time I was good enough to go to school again. When I got back, Dick was still a dick, and I guess he thought I forgot, or maybe didn't know it was him. I didn't forget, and I knew who it was who did that. I just needed some way to get back at him. Fast forward 2 years, and I'm 15 and in high school, and Dick had become a football player and track star. To everyone else, that event was lost in time, and I even forgot sometimes, until one day at Walmart, I saw Dick again, with a girl who was clearly not his girlfriend. The tongues were flailing in that poor dry food section, and I was just going to leave. And then I remembered what he'd done to me, and my master plan began. I quickly snapped a picture and hurried on my way, an evil smile on my face, a more sinister plan forming in my head. I spent almost a year gathering pieces of juicy dirt I could on poor Dick, and trust me, it was a lot. I'm not going to list everything here, but I put a few things: child pornography, drug use, underage drinking, poaching. It took me some time to dig up that one. Vandalism, etc. Then, I got the best one of all. An explicit image taken by one of his friends at a house party that I had to borrow someone's iCloud account to get. This was something that made me sick to even see. Dick, on a bed, doing something unsavory to his own sister, who on top of that was only 11. Once I had gathered over 300 images, recordings, and text messages, minus my grand finale, and anonymously put them in a police drop box in a big manila envelope. After only 1 day, I didn't see Dick at school. Then a week passed, then a month. I didn't even hear news reports on it. This was enough for me, even though I knew from a friend he was already in jail. I decided to make sure it was time I ruined his life forever. So what did I do, you may ask? Well, I took my trump card image and I put it in the mailbox of Dick's poor family. Then I waited. I didn't hear any more about this story until just a week ago. Dick was put on suicide watch after attempting to strangle himself with his bed sheets. maybe this seemed more like r/NuclearRevenge. Oh no, that was pretty intense. But I decided, after much thought, that it belongs here instead, as he did almost kill me, and I just went above and beyond. But if I get enough requests, I might put it there. TLDR, kid almost kills me with cologne, and I make sure he wish he was dead with his life in prison. I'll be honest, I was really unsure whether or not I should even read that because of how intense it was, but I made sure this was a level 3 for a reason, so there you go. I hope you enjoyed the story. Alright guys, that's gonna wrap it up for today. I hope you enjoyed these last 3 stories, and once again, thank you so much for everything you guys have been doing. This channel really is growing faster than I ever thought possible. The fact that we have already hit 100 subscribers when it usually takes new channels months, and we've done it in a little over a week is amazing. So thanks again guys, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.